mean that they had to spend 2-3 hours a day, even just to spend 20-30 minutes a day reading some ayahs and hadith and pondering over the moral consequence, not just looking for the reward of reading holy words, but gaining guidance, seeking a connection with God, seeking to embody the prophetic, miraculous truth they saw walking in their midst. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Let's ponder over Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, as he was the leader of the first migration to Abyssinia. And the Quraysh sent some leaders to try to capture them. So they made it into the king's court, the Negus. And they, say it, I think you became the Khatib now. No. They made it, and the Quraysh are coming in to make a case against them. So Ja'far wants this Christian king to know what has happened in Mecca. And so he says, before Islam, I will summarize because of time, we used to do all kinds of immoral, shameful things. And we were bad to our neighbors. We were like this until God sent us a messenger from ourselves whom we knew as an honest and trustworthy man. He commanded us to speak the truth, to be faithful to our trusts, to be compassionate, and to hold in high regard the rights of our neighbors. He's describing the change in them. So some of you who are raised in secular Arab countries, talking about the great character of al-Jahiliyyah, I've read it in books, by the way, trying to make Islam like a product of Arab history rather than Islam intervening in Arab history and completely miraculously changing a people who are as far from good morality as anybody else in world history. And that is the miracle. I've read literature books in Egypt and in Kuwait, written by modern characters who, they used to be the most greatest, honest, hospitable people in the world. This is not what Ja'far understood from the authentic hadith found in Bukhari about the migration, how he understood what changed in them. He didn't picture it like that. That's a modern way to move Islam aside and make the nationality and the ethnicity the most important thing in you. So the companions became the best neighbors ever known in the history of humanity. And that's the secret behind the slow and steady conversion of non-Muslim citizens of the Islamic State. So when the caliphate reached its largest kind of land, it was about 500 years. And in that time, there were hundreds of thousands of Christians, Jews, Zoroastrians, Hindus living under, Berbers, don't know what religion, pagan or something like that, living under the Muslim control. But they stayed non-Muslim, many of them for generations. Because of course, the divine law says, La ikraha fid deen. You cannot compel anyone in religion. أَفَتُكْرِهُ النَّاسَ حَتَّى يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. What do you think you're going to push people to become Muslim? Allah is saying you can't do it. قُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. Surah Al-Kahf. Say the truth from your Lord. Whoever wants to believe, let them believe. Whoever wants to disbelieve, let them disbelieve. But so why did they convert? The Orientalist story is because they kept raising taxes on them. If you truly believe in your religion, paying some extra taxes will not make you leave your religion, because that's eternity you're facing after. And even if that was the case, now there is no taxes on them, and there hasn't been for a few hundred years. Why didn't they go back? It's because of they seeing Islam through their neighbors. It's because of, after building genuine relationships with their non-Muslim neighbors, they were moved. This idea of the neighbor in the Islamic foundations of character has been lost. وَالْجَارِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. You must have ihsan. You must have excellence to your closest neighbor, the one who's on both sides of you. وَالْجَارِ الْجُنُبِ. And then the neighbor on the other side. You must have excellence to them, not neglect and completely disregard them and never engage them. That would be absolutely wrong. وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَنْبِ. And your coworker, the person that you know and work with. وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ. And somebody who happens to come through your area. This is all neighborly behavior. Half of the whole entire ayah about ihsan is about being a neighborly citizen. This is how da'wah works. Da'wah does not work and never worked by some guy running around handing out Qur'ans and pamphlets, with all due respect to that understanding. That was not the way of the early generations. It was living Islam and then explaining it piece by piece when somebody was interested or it was relevant to the interaction at hand. That's how people converted in mass numbers throughout world history. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه فإنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, the great Imam al-Muhaddithin, who did the long exegesis, the commentary on Sahih al-Bukhari. When Bab al-Jar comes up, he defines who is the neighbor according to him, Imam al-Muhaddithin. He says the neighbor includes the closest neighbor, Muslim or non-Muslim, the practicing or non-practicing Muslim, the friend and the enemy, the foreigner and the national, the good and the bad, and then those on the other side of them. This is what he understood. And when we look at the Prophet ﷺ and we look at the companions, that's what they understood. But I've heard many people say, yeah, I think my neighbor's Trump or something like this. So therefore, I will have nothing to do with them. Let's review our religion. Let's review what we mean when we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. What exactly does that mean? And are we ready to die where we're at in terms of the value that we represent to that statement that we claim? How serious of a relationship? Bukhari and Muslim narrate that the Prophet ﷺ said, Angel Gabriel would come to me advising me about the treatment of my neighbors. In so many cases, I thought they would inherit from me, meaning they are treated as family. And he does not say anywhere, was it ever said by any real scholar except for some characters for some modern people, that the non-Muslim has some sort of what you call a bara or something like that. This has no place in our religion. This is some modern politicized version of Islam. We owe it to our neighbors to show them Islam, not as an argument, but as a divine lived truth. If we sum up all the hadiths, because I knew I would run out of time, alhamdulillah, we find in the hadiths, you must smile at your neighbor every time you see them. You must express kind words and good greetings to them. You should be visiting them. You should be sharing food and other gifts with them. You should never cause harm to any of them or even annoyance. And if they harm or annoy you, you should forgive them and take the upper hand. I just summed up about 20 hadiths on neighbors from the Prophet ﷺ and his companions and the rightly guided people after them. Ya Allah, we ask you to make us your true servants. We ask you to make us follow the footsteps of the message you revealed to your beloved Prophet ﷺ as he lived it. Ya Allah, reform in us our understanding of spirituality and religiosity and empower us to shine the light of your message. Ya Allah, you are our guardian protector, and through you we will fix society by your will as you has revealed to the Quran and the Sunnah as believers. Ya Allah, empower us to engage society without any fear of what anybody says or does to us, knowing that we are pleasing you. Ya Allah, make pleasing you and dying in a state of your contentment the single most important priority to all of us. Ya Allah, bring us together as believers. Help us to push each other in the right direction. Remove from us a focus on a materialistic, worldly focused life. Ya Allah, help us to be ready when death comes. Resurrect us among the righteous. Make the day of judgment quick and easy on us, and help us over that bridge behind our beloved Prophet ﷺ as we open the gates and peace is given to us the greetings of the angels. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.